Hi guys, Erin from VixenDaily here, and today I'm going to talk about a very depressing topic for many people. The topic is the biggest signs that a guy does not want to be with you anymore and might not love you. Okay, so you're here because you want to know the signs that a guy doesn't want to be with you anymore and might not even love you anymore. Maybe you've been with him for a while and things just feel off. It doesn't feel like he's putting in as much energy and attention and focus. Maybe it just feels bad when you're together, as if you can't stop fighting, and half the time you don't even know what you're arguing about. Maybe he's been distant and just cold, but whatever it is, I understand how horrible that feels, and I'm here to help you. So I'm going to give you the biggest signs that he has fallen out of love and that he doesn't want to be with you anymore. And then at the end, I'm going to give you the absolute biggest sign that you have to know and pay attention to that will really bring you clarity and some kind of an answer. So without further ado, I'm going to get right to the signs. So the first sign, it seems like everything you do annoys him. The foundation of any good relationship is that it feels good to be with each other. If every little thing that you do somehow makes him snap, whether it's not, throwing away a soda can or saying something the wrong way, it's a pretty bad sign when even the little things you do are things that he fixates on and just harps on. It's something about you that just seems to be annoying him. Sign number 2. He's closed himself off from you and has stopped sharing. You have to compare his current behavior to his past behavior for this sign. If he used to be really open with you, talk about his feelings or how his day went, or basically anything that was on his mind, and now he's become more closed off and aloof, it's a pretty bad sign. Now, if he was never open with you in the first place, then nothing has really changed. So it's actually not a sign that he doesn't want to be with you anymore. So you have to compare. Next sign, he has totally stopped texting you back. So again, it's comfortable to not be texting all the time, but if he's actually routinely ignoring you and just completely closed off, it's a pretty big sign that he does not want to be with you anymore. Sign number 4, all of a sudden he needs a lot of space in the relationship. Guys need space for a lot of reasons. It's completely normal for a guy to occasionally pull back and take some space in a relationship. But the best thing you can do when a guy needs space is to let him take space. Normally he'll return refreshed and ready to be with you. When it stops being normal, though, is when he's been so distant for so long that it has you wondering whether he even wants to be in a relationship at all. As in, he's completely withdrawn, not just for a little bit, but completely withdrawn. If he's completely vanished, he probably does not want to be there anymore. The next sign, he doesn't help you when you're hurting. Relationships are all about supporting each other when needed. A lot of the appeal in a relationship is actually having someone on your side, on your team, who can help you when things are going really awful in your life and you need somebody to kind of be there as a partner. If he is not being there for you emotionally at all, then it's a pretty big sign that he's not really emotionally in this anymore. He really tries to hurt you when you're fighting. Everyone fights differently, but one rule about successful couples is that they usually fight to solve a problem instead of just hurt each other. If he cuts really deeply now and he didn't used to, it's a really big sign that he does not want to be with you anymore and might not love you. You have to compare, though, the way you used to fight versus the way you fight now. If you've always fought this way, then it doesn't mean anything. But if he's all of a sudden cutting deep and kind of going there and saying things that you really wouldn't say if you care about someone, then that is a pretty big sign. A pretty big sign, in fact, that actually gets overlooked because we want to believe that fighting means that we still care. But when you're fighting and just being ruthless and vicious, it's a pretty bad situation. Next sign, you've totally stopped having sex. Obviously, in almost every relationship, your sex life slows down as the relationship goes on. Every person's different and has different needs. But if there's just no willingness or no sexual connection between you at all, it's a pretty big sign that he's not really interested. And if you've tried to actually make a move on him and he's just backed off, that's a huge sign that he's really not in this anymore. And now I'm not saying if he does this once, it's a life over situation. I mean a persistent and consistent pattern. Next sign. He seems to be in a very bad mood pretty much all the time. Now, it could be his own life, so look at his life first and see, is there something going on in his life? If there's not, and he's just always moody, especially around you, it's a pretty big sign. Now, I'm going to get to the biggest sign. The biggest sign is he doesn't fight the idea of breaking up when it's brought up calmly. It's one thing if you're both fighting or emotional and saying things you might not mean. But if you are both in a calm state, the topic of breaking up is brought up and he sounds like he's subtly in favor of it or says it would make sense, then that's really your biggest sign. And sure, maybe you're watching this video because you'd honestly rather stand back and analyze without necessarily discussing things with him. But if you're at a point where you think he wants to leave and doesn't love you, what do you really have to lose? If he actually wants to leave, asking him what's up isn't going to be what makes the breakup happen. He already made up his mind. And if you have it wrong and he doesn't want to leave, this can actually be the beginning of repairing things. He might not even realize what you feel like. And he might even feel like he, is communicating well and that you think things are great. So it might actually come out that he has no problem with you or the relationship and that he's dealing with other issues in his life and wants to fix things. I'm not saying it's easy, but if you ask him if he wants to break up or end things from a calm and open-minded place, you actually make it possible for him to let you know what he's really thinking and feeling and maybe take things in a better direction. If you think asking if he wants to break up is too extreme, you can just ask him what's wrong because he seems unhappy and just see what he has to say. Again, if you're calm and open-minded, you really do have the best chance to get an understanding of what's actually going on with him. Being in the dark is just going to keep you worrying and forever wondering. And whatever it is he's thinking and feeling is already true. If you talk to him, you can find out once and for all whatever that is. So you will have clarity. I'm not saying it'll be positive. It might be positive though, and you might actually get a good answer. But if you get a negative answer, at least you know you're no longer in the dark. You no longer have to worry or wonder or fixate or dream of these worst case scenarios, hopeless and just broken. You don't have to sit around wondering when your relationship will fall apart anymore, but being too afraid to even say anything because you're going to rock the boat. The truth is that if things are already at that point where he does not love you anymore and doesn't want to be with you, you won't be able to convince him that he wants to be with you. So saying something is really going to do nothing other than bring clarity. And finally, like I say in all my videos, I want you to have the kind of love life you really want. And I put a link to the full article on this topic in the description. And you can check out VixenDaily.com to get real world answers to just about any love advice question you have, so you're never confused by men or relationships again. And if you liked this video, please leave a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And for more videos like this, subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Okay, bye.